We have Senator Barack Obama with us. Senator, good morning. I must say, it's been a little disorienting here. We've got Republicans, for God's sake, wearing Obama shirts. What's going on here?
You know, there's something happening in Iowa. I think there's something happening all across the country. People really want to try to come together to solve problems, and we've got independents, and we've got some Republicans, and you know, I've been so excited. You know, it wore out my voice talking to them, but I really think that we're going to see a huge turnout election. People are going to participate. They want to see problems solved, and I think that bodes well for our campaign.
Senator, obviously the latest polls show that it is deadlocked. The Des Moines Register poll had you up about 4, 5, 6 points, but the latest Zogby poll said it's a dead heat. That means that it all comes down to turnout, as you know. How is your organization going to pull the people to the caucuses in a more effective way than, say, Hillary Clinton or John Edwards?
Well, you know, I really believe that we have the best organization on the ground. I think this is going to be a close race, but we have had people from every demographic group, young, old, folks of every race and every background, who have been volunteering consistently, knocking on doors, making phone calls, identifying our supporters. If it comes down to a turnout race, then we feel pretty good, because I just think that the sense of urgency among our voters, the people who really want to see change and really want to see problems solved on things like health care and energy policy, I think they're going to be motivated to spend that time this evening caucusing.
Senator, it's Mika here, and of course after Iowa, when we know the results this time tomorrow morning, we're all moving on to New Hampshire, where we'll catch up with you once again. How vital is it at this point to you, do you think, that you win Iowa?
Well, I think it is important for us to do well. There's no doubt about that. All the candidates, I think, recognize that we've all invested a lot of time and a lot of energy here. There are people who have been on the ground for months, and so we want to make sure that we're doing well, and we think we will, because all throughout this week, as I've traveled around the state, even among people who are undecided, people who haven't participated before, they recognize that we're at a turning point in the country. We've got to move forward. We've got to bring Democrats, Republicans, and independents together to try to solve problems. And we don't need more ideology. We need practical, common sense solutions. That's why I think we're doing well, and that's why I think people are interested in this campaign.
And, you know, it's really interesting. We have heard, talking about Republicans, Democrats, and independents, I really have been surprised, and maybe it's just anecdotal, but going around Iowa, talking to people, I've had a lot of independents, and I've actually had Republicans coming up to me saying that they were going to caucus for you. We hear that if just Democrats go to the caucuses tonight, Hillary Clinton's the likely winner. But if you have independents, Republicans, others crossing over to you, and we have a historic turnout, then you win. How likely is that we're going to have a historic turnout tonight?
You know, I think it's very likely. Just based on what I've seen, we've been seeing the kinds of crowds that you very rarely see. People have told me that this is the first time they've ever caucused. We had one person, 80 years old, who said she had never caucused in her life, who was going to come out and caucus, and a lot of them are independents. And I do sort of an informal survey in our meetings where I just ask people to raise their hands. How many people are first-time caucus goers? And typically it's about 1 out of 4, 1 out of 5 people who've never been there before. You know, if that holds true this evening, and it looks like the weather's going to be good, then, you know, my suspicion is that we're going to see a record turnout, and I think that's going to be good for our campaign.
Senator Obama, it's David Schuster here, and in your campaign speeches these last few days, I've heard you say over and over, we cannot continue the politics of fear and have politicians who talk and act like George W. Bush. Was that, in fact, a reference to Hillary Clinton? And is it fair to suggest that Hillary Clinton is like George W. Bush?
No, you know, it wasn't a direct reference to any particular candidate, but I do think that when it comes to national security over the last several years, the sense has been that if there is some difference between Congress and the president, that the president holds the trump card and that people get intimidated in terms of how we're going to make the country safe. Look, I intend to be the commander-in-chief, and my job will be to keep you and all Americans safe. And I will not hesitate to strike against those who would do us harm. But I also believe that part of that strength is going to be not just military but diplomatic. It's going to be taking a different tone, one that actually harkens back to traditional bipartisan Republican and Democratic foreign policy that is more realistic, less ideological. That's what I've been talking about throughout this campaign, and that's what I hope to implement as President of the United States. I think that will make the American people more safe.
Boy, I'll tell you what, we've been so divided for so long, Senator. Let's hope, regardless of who wins, that happens. Hey, listen, you know, and we'll say this to all the candidates. Thank you for what you're doing out there. I know it's especially hard for you with a wife and young children. We greatly appreciate it. It's a sacrifice, but we know you're doing it for America. Thanks a lot. And by the way, how are your daughters handling this? Do they really even care if you win or lose tonight if they see SpongeBob SquarePants tomorrow morning?
Yeah, you know, I'll be honest with you. You know, Michelle has done a great job just keeping their lives normal. You know, we didn't move to D.C. We stayed in Chicago. They've got the same friends, go to the same school, go to ballet lessons. They are paying more attention to Hannah Montana than they are to the Iowa caucuses. But the one thing the one thing they're interested in is they know that they can't get a dog until the campaign is over with. So I don't know whether they're rooting for or against me, but that dog is the main thing that they're paying attention to.
Thank God, Senator, you didn't tell us that they were concerned about nuclear proliferation.
Yeah,
like Amy Carter.
Hannah Montana,
Right.
good choice.
Yeah.
Given what's going on at Nickelodeon, that's probably the show to watch. So, Senator Obama, thank you very, very much, and give our best to Michelle. Take care.
Good luck tonight.
Thank you, guys.